Hey, watching on right now, we're broadcasting live from the South Pacific. And you don't know it's your boy, Uso Blaze.
I know you're gonna dig this.
Right now you're tuning into another Uso Blaze production. Yo, Uso Blaze, yes up in fire.
What is going on, chat? Welcome. Everybody's pouring in.
What up?
Like it. Yeah, I like it. Picasso.
Okay,
Got West
hype
Money
train.
in the house. Gigi in the
That part.
house.
That part.
Doom Bunny in the house. Rumi-san.
Let's go.
Got
Let's
Snakita Loca. We
That
got a
damn
hype
snake.
train. We got Ina Baby in the house.
Ooh, let's go.
Let's go, everybody. Welcome. Aaliyah's in the house. Uso Blaze in the house. Sarah's in the
Right.
house. Welcome, everybody.
Okay.
Damn, y'all showing us way too much love. It's your
81%.
boy Big Husky, and you know THT Cyrus, and our special guest of tonight, Mr. Uso Blaze. What's going on, Us?
What's up,
How
y'all?
you doing? How you doing?
Good, bro. How are you?
Good. Let me just turn you up a little
Okay,
bit.
okay.
There we go. All right, that's what's
Yeah.
up. Well, this is episode 36. Damn.
God damn.
Yeah, we're already almost halfway through the year.
Sheesh.
This is crazy. Joy Marley, welcome in the house.
Oh, you made it.
Joy
Hey,
made
Joy.
it twice in one day. Fuck, I don't know. I can't do it right now. Was it Gigi be like, okay? See, like, I'm terrible.
Wait. Do it one more time.
No, I can't do it. I can't do it.
No,
I couldn't even do my fucking whole yeah earlier.
Bro,
I'm
you
not
can
even gonna
do it.
try that.
Hey,
No.
you can do it. It's like
You know.
Evil Knievel. You get paid for the attempt. Just do it. Go.
I do
You
not
don't
get paid
to
for
make
this.
it.
I do not get paid for this shit.
You get paid for the attempt, bro.
But Cyrus, why don't you go ahead and do a little intro for our guest, please?
Yeah, so this is one of the Usos. We've been following each other for a while now. He's a streamer, he's an entrepreneur, he's a family man. So we definitely had to have him on, make sure, we can pick his brain a little, introduce him to our chat. I know you guys see him sometimes in our stream or all the time in our stream, and he's always showing love. So we made sure that we brought him on, so we can pay it forward. But definitely everybody in the chat, let us know how your day's going. If you have any questions for him, shoot it in the chat and we'll make sure we get to it. But yeah, how's your day? We'll start off with that.
Oh, today was fabulous. I took what my company calls a summer day, which is basically paid time off, but it doesn't go against my paid time off. So
Right.
real chill, man.
Hell yeah. You got anything going other than work? What else you got going on?
Today? No, not much going on today. Today was just trying to get back into the swing of things because probably gonna use this podcast as an opportunity to start streaming again. I went and looked back at my VODs, and the last time I streamed was back in February. So it's
Right.
been over 3 months. So I was looking at my stream, reevaluating things, making sure all the bells and whistles still work and whatnot,
Mhm.
because probably be up there tomorrow, this weekend.
Oh, let's go.
Yeah,
Back to
yeah.
it.
That part. All right. So the first question pretty much is going to be like your introduction from your side. Who are you and what do you do?
Well, that's simple. I'm the Oos man.
Hey, that part.
Let's go.
That part.
What's up, y'all? I'm Uso Blaze. My real name is Trevor, but don't let anybody tell you that I told you that. I am a senior software engineer by day. I work for a local company here in Honolulu, Hawaii.
Oh, nice. In Hawaii, represent.
Yes,
That
sir.
part. 808 in the building. I know we got a few in the chat.
Mhm.
So what's your background? Like what's your how do you say ethnicity, nationality?
So the simple answer is I'm Afghasi. I'm half German, half Samoan. That's what I tell people when I don't really want to talk about it much, but given I'm on a podcast and that's what today's goal is, it's a little more complicated than that. So the 50% German is actually very pure. I was born in Augsburg, Germany.
Ooh,
The Samoan, however, is not very pure. It's very mixed up, if you will. So my family is actually originally from Fiji. My
Oh,
grandfather is Indo-Fijian, so he migrated from India to Fiji, met my grandmother there, had my father, and then we migrated to Samoa. So the Samoan is actually Samoan, Fijian, and Indian, and probably a bunch of other stuff that is so far back that we don't remember. But
right, right.
yeah, so kind of
Yeah,
all over the place.
that's a good mix. You're a mix of everything.
yeah.
So,
Yeah.
are you familiar with pretty much everything that that's in your blood? Like, are you familiar with all of those backgrounds as far as like knowing stuff?
Unfortunately, not. So, I was born in Germany. I'm very in touch with the German roots. German was actually my first language as a kid. But when my parents split up, I ended up moving with my dad, and then I lost it all at about like 4 or 5 years old.
Mm.
But I'm not very much in touch with the Indo-Fijian side. My father was born in Suva, but by the time I was born, he had long left Samoa. We had long migrated to Samoa, so I know very little about the Fijian and the Indian aspect of my background. I just know names, and that's pretty much it. A few pictures that I see hanging up in Grandma's house.
Right,
But definitely in touch with the Samoan side. I wasn't raised very traditional, but most of my family's still in Samoa. Actually, the only ones out of my father's siblings that left is him and one of my aunts. So the vast majority is still back there in Pongo.
oh, okay. Oh, so they're all from Pongo.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
that's just it. How often have you ever gone back to visit, or do you go back often?
I think the last time we were there was 2018. And
Mm.
then obviously the pandemic hit, so we haven't gone. I was actually supposed to go in like 2020 for a cousin's wedding, but with the travel restrictions and everything, it's been a while. But I'll probably be back soon. I gotta go see my grandma, see how she's doing.
Definitely, definitely. So, with with everything that happened with COVID restrictions and stuff, like did that affect you in any other way? Um, as far as like with you personally, household, everything.
Um, Yeah, I mean, it definitely got very close. So I mean, for me personally, when it hit, I had to take a 10% pay cut. Rode with
Cool.
that for about a year. I think about 10 to 15% of our staff got laid off. Office closed. Been working from home, and I'm still working from home too. We don't have any plans to return to the office, so that's kind of the immediate effects. But on a personal note too, I've had two family members pass away from COVID, or they
Rest in
passed
peace.
away and it was attributed to COVID. So
Okay.
it got really close, man. Too close for comfort, for
Man,
sure.
sorry to hear that, man. Rest in peace to your loved ones.
Thanks, man.
I know it all affected everyone that's around us.
Yeah.
Since the pandemic, I've had like 40 loved ones pass away, 35 of them COVID cases.
Wow.
So, yeah, definitely.
Gotta
It's, when people are, I'll meet people like, oh, it's not this. I'm like, bruh, tell that to the person I'm paying my condolences to. And,
Yeah.
it's rough. It's rough. But I'm glad that, um, you were able to make it out, make it out okay. Um, because definitely that's like a crazy thing going on around the world. Um, so I know you mentioned earlier that you stepped away uh, from the streaming just for a little bit. What pushed you away from it? Like what kept you, or what solidified that decision?
I just had a lot of stuff going on at the time. So in March, I actually um closed on my first home here in Hawaii. So
Yeah,
it wasn't the home that I wanted and needed a little bit of work. So,
Mhm.
I stayed within my budget, went on the lower end of my budget, which is still very high compared to the mainland or anywhere else in the world. But So I had to do a lot of work. I had to learn a lot of things. Like, oh, let's see this beautiful gray wall right here. Like I
Right, right.
painted that, and I had no idea how to do that before. So all types of renovations and stuff, and then probably about a week after we moved into the new spot, I ended up flying to Maui to pick up a puppy. So he's been keeping me pretty busy too. And then on top of that, clients are finding more budget, the world's starting to open up a little bit, work started firing on all cylinders, and it just got to a point where, I'm not logging off from work till like 6 or 7 at night, and that's just
Ooh,
it's hard. It's hard to make that transition to say like, "All right, cool, I'm done with work. Now let's spin this stream up and sit here for a few more hours, staring at the same screen even though I'm doing what I want to do." It takes a lot of energy and a lot of effort. So,
Oh yeah.
just had a bunch of stuff going on that I had to take care of, but I knew it wasn't a permanent thing when I stepped away. It's just
mhm.
like, let me go handle my stuff and, eventually I'll be back. That's
Right,
kind of how
right,
it goes for a lot of people I see.
Yeah.
right. Definitely. So you mentioned that you were a senior software engineer. Like,
Yes, sir.
was that always the plan since you were little to do something like that, or
No, absolutely not.
uh,
Absolutely not.
but besides a policeman, a velociraptor, a fireman, what did you want to be when you grew up?
He said Velociraptor.
uh, man, you already took the good one. You know, when I grew up, it was just me and my dad.
Mhm.
He was a single parent until I was 12, 13 when he met my stepmom. So I looked up to him a lot, and I honestly thought I was going to end up in the military just like him. But it came down time to graduating high school or whatever, and I look at my dad and I have these conversations with him, and he's just like, "Look, you can join the military if you want, but I joined so you didn't have to, you know.
Okay.
Go do something else with your life." And then I had no idea. Actually, I knew what I wanted to do, but I knew it was risky. So when I graduated high school, I wanted to go to Los Angeles Recording School. I thought I was about to be the next Scott Storch, the next Just Blaze, the next Timbaland. I was like, man, I'm ripping stuff up in high school. People copping this mixtape, they banging it out in the parking lot. I'm like, we're gonna do this. Until you sit down and you think about the reality of that, um, it's risky. Not many people are going to make it that big, you know what I mean? And is
Yeah.
there work there for you? And so I ended up taking a different route. I was like, you know what? Let me go do something technical. I was always good in school. I was a 4.0 student, graduated third of my class, National Honor
Right.
Society, the whole 9 yards. And,
Yeah.
I
Love to
started
see
looking
it.
into engineering, and then I found software, and it's not my favorite, I'll tell you that, but the bag is okay, and
Yeah.
the job is challenging. Every day it's a new problem. Even if it's the same problem, it's on a different stack, and it's keeps me engaged. I never get like tunnel vision, you know what I mean? So
That's good.
yeah.
Mhm. So, so connecting with that, like, did you have to learn like the computer languages like Python, C++, all that stuff?
Yeah. And the hard part was that I had never written a program until I got to college.
Ooh.
And that was 2007. So by the time I got to college, I was already behind in my field of study because a lot of the kids I was going to school with had been programming their entire lives.
Right.
And even though I had been around computers, like I knew how to torrent stuff, and you know what I mean? Like you knew how to find some crack keys for Adobe Photoshop or something like that back in the
Right.
day. Like that didn't translate in terms of like software skills because they're like, all right, cool, well, we're going to start writing programs and you logic and math, and I'm just like, oh crap. So it was tough, man. It was really tough. I felt very much behind a lot of my peers, but we made it through, baby. We made it through.
Yeah, that part. No,
Yeah.
I love to hear it, because you don't hear too many, Islanders going into that, or because like listening to you saying you had the 4.0 GPA, and definitely going to college and learning all these things. Like, it's very few Usos, or not too many of my Usos are very educated like you. They, I'm from a different side, so they, going to college was always like a far fetched thing. But
Yeah.
hearing you speak about it, bro, like you're a really good example of just grinding, putting your mind to it, and just doing the legwork, and just having that groundwork of doing great things. So definitely commend you, Us, like, for real.
Hey, I mean, you're not the only one, man. Because I'll tell you like this: I've been in the game for it'll actually be 10 years this year, 10 years next month, or the month
Oh shit.
after.
Ooh, okay.
I know only two other Samoan developers, and one of them is my second cousin. So he's part
Ooh,
of the reason why I got into it. He went to Arizona State, and then when I was choosing a school, I was gonna go to Arizona State because he was there and he was close and he knew the ropes. But then University of Arizona offered me a scholarship and some money, and I was just like, man, fuck ASU, bro. We'll be
right.
down here
Yeah,
in Tucson. So
yeah, it's
um,
Wildcats versus Sun Devils.
yeah, man.
Yeah.
But there's not many of us. There is not many of us, and I hope that as I get older, as I continue on with my career, I'm going to start to see more and more pop up.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. This new generation, they're pretty smart. They're pretty
Yeah,
damn smart. I see it, especially
yeah,
with the streaming and everything. Like, definitely, our people are taking like this whole new route compared to the generations before, and they're taking advantage. Hopefully, they keep on taking advantage, and kind of pursue something. So
you got to, man, break the mold. break
facts.
Yeah.
break the mold and do something, and that's part of what I use social media for, is finding people who are doing things that I wouldn't expect them to be doing. Our people,
Right.
doctors and lawyers, and you know what I
Love it.
mean, like,
Yeah.
it's nuts. Like, come on, not all of us gonna make it to the league, trust me, I had them dreams too.
Facts. Facts.
But these coaches, they trained me for offense and defensive line, bro. I'm 5'8", 220. I played that all 4 years of high school, and I'm like, I ain't going to college playing this. You see these boys, they 6'8",
Yeah, right. Right.
350. Like, I can't, man. I'll hold my own, but I'm not gonna make it to the league.
Right. No, I feel you. Yeah. Husky was a beast at football.
Hell yeah.
You're gonna try to swim your arm out into the fucking ambulance. Fucking big ass motherfuckers nowadays, man. It's just
For real,
crazy.
like
Everyone's a
the kids,
monster.
bro. I remember,
Hmm.
like, when I was in high school, like, if someone dunked, the whole crowd went crazy because nobody dunks.
Yeah.
Now everybody, it seems like everybody can dunk nowadays. I'm like, dang, like, I wish I would have got those genes.
You're
But like,
13, you should be able to dunk.
yeah, no, they're 12 dunking,
Man.
and it's like our people, like, with our genetics, these kids are something else.
Yeah.
They're created in a cup or something, or in a bowl,
Yeah.
because they built different.
It could use
So,
some more common sense, though.
yeah, they definitely don't have that. Definitely don't have that.
Get everything
But,
else but the common sense. God damn it.
facts. All right. So following up that, how I asked how you got into software engineering. Uh, how did you get into streaming? What made you do that?
Boredom.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah, no, yeah. Like, literally, I started streaming in January of last year. And it was basically a lull at work. I wasn't being mentally challenged, and I kind of avoided this entire realm. I remember when, Twitch first came out and people were streaming and stuff like that, just thinking like, man, this is goofy. Like, who's gonna go pay to watch somebody play video games? We used to do this in college. Like, we used to
Right.
go watch people play video games for free. Like, cool, they're good. Like, what do you want me to do? And
Right.
then I kind of got into it, and I really started messing with OBS, which obviously I'm a software dude, and I'm like, yo, there's some really cool stuff in here. Like, this is like PowerPoint on crack. Like, I can put on a whole presentation. I can produce my whole show if I want to.
Right.
And so, I was bored and I needed some stimulation, and just kind of got into it, started messing around with OBS and just learning the ropes and seeing what it do. Started hitting my wife up for graphics and just trying to put all the pieces together and build a quality experience. You know what I mean? It's
Right.
not, we're not gonna be eight in numbers and stuff like that, but just something, something good, something decent. And my setup's pretty unconventional compared to most, so I'm pretty proud of what I've put together.
Oh man. Yeah. Definitely. I remember going into your streams, and think the last one I was in, you were doing a giveaway, I
Yeah.
believe, a giveaway. But just seeing how well you ran everything, like with everything popping up, and I was just like, wow, like this dude knows what he's doing, like for real, like and
Yeah.
yeah, definitely. I can see how what you learned or what you do in IRL, like how you kind of connected that with streaming, like because you do like your streams are like on point, Goose, like for real,
Appreciate that.
definitely.
Yeah. I love when people come into my stream and they're like, "Oh, snap, you're on console?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm on console," because it doesn't look like a console stream because I don't stream straight from the console, you know?
Right.
Um, but yeah, it's a lot of fun, man. And at the end of the day, like all the overlay stuff with Stream Elements and Streamlabs, like the thing that connected with me is that it's all HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Those are the
Right.
three building blocks of the web. Every
Yeah.
website basically uses those three components. And I'm like, hey, I kind of do that for a living. I should be able to figure this stuff out, and I should be able to change it how I want it to. And yeah, that's how I got what I got.
Hell yeah, you do a great job, Goose.
Appreciate
Um,
it.
and then I don't know if everybody in the chat knows this, but your music,
Yeah.
Goose. We talked about what your job, IRL, the streaming, but the music. So you produce, you rap. Are you singing?
Nah, we
All
ain't,
right,
ain't gonna be
all
no
right.
pretty Ricky around here, boy. Like,
um, what got you into music?
probably the same thing, curiosity. I started rapping back in middle school using a USB headset that I got with SOCOM for
Oh,
PlayStation 2.
yeah,
You remember that
yeah,
game? It
yeah.
actually came with the headset and everything. You put it on, and like me and my homies figured out, like, yo, you can plug this USB headset into a computer and use it as a microphone. And we just kind of took it from there. Started using like Acid Pro and finding keys online to unlock the software and putting socks over this little microphone, trying to experiment with all types of things, wrapping under a blanket or whatever. And it was just a lot of fun because you would create this thing and then you would go show it to your friends and they would love it and then they would be playing it everywhere and you're like, yo, this is cool. It helps you like understand the type of influence and the power that you could potentially have. Even though we was rapping about some terrible stuff in middle school. It's like I got trust me, I got copies of that stuff it's never gonna hear the light of day.
Oh,
It's
man, I already
never
know it was already knowing.
Uso Blaze will be canceled with the quickness y'all hit this shit. So but so yeah, and producing and especially rapping was the one of the few things that I like the few hobbies I had as a kid that I lost track of time. It's one of those things that I would do it and then I would look at the clock and I'm like, holy crap, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm over here mixing this, like trying to do ad libs and stuff like that. And I just kind of got lost in the sauce. But when it came down to picking a career, I was like, I could do this. And I've had friends that actually went to the Los Angeles Recording School. They're not even producers right now. And the way I saw it, or at least the way I figured, I'm like, look, I could go to Los Angeles Recording School, graduate, be a terrible producer, never make it big. I was like, or I could take a safer route. I could go become a scientist. I could become an engineer, make the money and have the time on the back end, in a few
Facts.
years to be
Hell
able to
yeah.
go back to the music if I wanted to. So that's where a lot of my stream setup came for. Like the microphone I already had, the preamp I already had, pop filters, all that stuff. I was just like, oh, let me just apply it to this new use case. And then that's how the stream came about. So
Dang. Yeah, any plan, or are you still working on stuff?
I never stopped working on stuff. It's just
Facts.
I find it hard to release things. Um, Probably because I'm my own worst critic. I put a lot of expectations on myself, and
Same
it's
here.
one of those things. Even stuff that I wrote like 3, 4 years ago, I go back and I'll listen to it or I'll rap it again, and I'm just like, I'm kind of terrified to put something out, man. I'm kind of terrified, like especially in this new day and age where it's like you say the wrong word, you say the wrong thing, you have one hot take, and it's like, yo, that's it. Nobody coming through no more. Nobody gonna show love. You're gonna get canceled, and I'm just like, I just let it be, man. Because the way I grew up as a military brat or whatever, I was fond of the N word. for
Right.
my entire life. It was something that I adopted because they adopted me into their family. And then as I got older, I'm just like, you know what? They say it's their word. It's their word. They don't want us to use it.
Right.
We shouldn't use it. And so,
Yeah, I'm definitely on that board too. Like, I growing up, all the homies, everybody I kick it with, or they
yeah,
all use it. They all say it, whether they're black or not. And I'll be like, I'm not really cool with that. And they're like, why? I'm like, this is Uso over here. Like, we Usos. But that's just from what I learned from all the Usos who did time and stuff.
yeah,
And they come out and they're like, hey, you're either with them or you're with us. Like,
yeah,
it's so disrespectful if we ever use that word. And they're like, that's what it is in there. Like, we don't use that word and whatever. So that really like imprinted my mind. Like, oh man, like that makes sense. Like,
yeah,
of course I'll be with the homies and they don't care at all if I
yeah,
say it or not. But I'm like, nah, I'm good, Oos. Like, I don't, I won't ever use it. But
yeah,
I really connect to what you said with the music because I was the same way. As far as like in middle school, you know, and I don't know if you ever remember those black and white composition books they used to
yeah,
get in.
yeah.
So I was 11, and my teacher, and it was her experiment to write a diary, and she would just correct our punctuation and all that. It was like, oh, the kids will be interested because they're writing about what they did. All I'm doing is correcting it, but the
Right.
stuff I was writing that was like some shit I was
Yeah.
writing, like, well, my pops is locked up, my mom's not around, my family hates me and this and that, and I'm on the streets with the homies, I'm doing this and I'm writing all this, getting my notebook back, and my pages are sticking together because she's been crying.
Oh,
So she
yeah.
gives it back. She gives me back the notebook. I have her as a friend, my teacher as a friend on Facebook. I went looking for her just to thank her.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
you know, I, I was just like, yeah, her name's Miss Lusar. And I was like, Miss Lusar, like, you know, like why? I was like, did you drop my book in like water or something? And then she was like, no, Cyrus, I felt touched. You should write poetry. And I started with poetry and it was trash. And I was like, oh, I sing in the choir, but at this time uh I'm going through puberty, so my voice is cracking. I'll just be honest. I'll just be honest. Them high notes were no longer there.
Nope.
And then I was like, yeah, I guess I'll be a rapper. And at that same, like that very, was it weekend or something, 8 Mile came out. And
Nice.
I watched it and I was just like, oh, I relate to that. So that's what started my whole journey. And I just turned 30 and I started at 11. So
Yeah.
I've been putting in work for the past 19 years. So like hearing your story and just like how you grinded, it was like I I I understand on every level because people say like I say it all the time, like, hey, music's a gamble. Like if you don't make it, people can look at it as you grinded all this time for nothing.
Yeah.
You grinded on a dream that never came true. So
Yeah.
no, I feel you. I feel you on so many levels.
I, I think the one thing that stops me from hanging up my XLR cords for good is knowing that all it takes is one song. That's all it takes is one song. And the other thing too is kind of seeing a resurgence of styles of hip hop that kind of faded away. Like there's a
Mhm.
lot of underground rappers coming back with the boom bap stuff and you know what I mean? And because it's really the revelation of understanding that there is a market for whatever type of hip hop you want to make. You can turn on the radio and think that mumble rap is the only way to do it and that you got to auto tune all your vocals and stuff like that, but that's not true. There are people out there like me who are looking for bars. I am looking for bars. I don't care
Thanks.
what you do to your voice and how you engineer it. I want you to write a bar so good that I'm not going to figure it out for 5 years. And then I'm going to be like, this motherfucker, really? I
Hell
just
yeah.
understood that.
Do you,
Wow.
do you do you have an example of that as far as like
What was There was one from there's one from Jay-Z, Bonnie and Clyde. He's like, and it's funny because like I've listened to the song and I know the lyrics, but I don't know why. And this was just recently it hit me, and I'm like, oh wow. He's like, and I'll do anything necessary for her, so don't let the necessary occur. And I'm just like, what is he
Ooh,
talking about? And he's just
ooh,
like, yeah, don't do nothing stupid because I'll murk your ass for her. And it's just
yeah,
like, you know what I mean? You'll go back and listen to it 10
ooh,
years later and you're like, oh shit, it just now clicked in my brain. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
why didn't it click 10 years ago? And that's life, man.
Yeah, it's
Just
just the
growing with the
development of the
music.
mind. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
going with it. Yeah, I think one that happened to me was same thing with it was Jay-Z. I swear to God, the guy's the
Always
GOAT.
Jay.
I'm telling you, he's the GOAT. Like I be telling people, but he it wasn't more recent, but it was like 10 years after the fact when he says, "Till I come back like Jordan, wearing the 4-5. It ain't to play games with you. It's to aim at you. I'll probably make." I was like, "Oh shit!" Like,
Yeah.
like it hit where because Jordan came back wearing the number 45. He's
Yeah.
like, "But it ain't to play games with you. It's to aim at you." I was like, "Oh, this guy's the goat." Like he
Yeah.
does this. He does it all the time. He does it all the time. But is there any rhyme that you ever wrote that like when you wrote like a bar or like even like a setup where you or like, a scheme maybe and you were like, oh shit, like this is crazy. Like have you ever been surprised by anything that you've written?
Yeah. I mean, I've definitely got there's definitely a few bars that I'm like, okay, you wrote it or whatever, but I think a lot of things just when people hear it and they don't give you the same reaction that you have, like when you wrote
Facts.
it and you have
Right.
it, it's
Yeah.
just like, damn, man. And then you're just like, that's a waste. That's a waste. You just wasted my genius on you. You didn't even understand it. And I hope you do. Um, but that's just the music, man. Even though I haven't put anything out in forever, I still get people from high school hitting me up like, yo, can you send me that one song that da 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 da? And I'm like, we graduated in 2007. You still thinking about that? Like,
Right.
I mean, I'll find you a copy real quick, but damn, like, I'm glad to know I'm still on your mind. Like,
Right.
you know?
Oh, I feel you. Yeah, no, I'm the same way, Oos, but because I punch all the time. Like I'm just like you. I'm a bar addict.
Yeah.
Like when someone says some shit, I'll be like, ooh, like when they give you that look, like, ooh, oh
Thank you,
shit.
face.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
ooh.
Shit.
Like when I write, so when I do the anthems, I make
Oh
sure
man.
it's just bars. It's just bars on top of
Yep.
bars. And then because I research all these people who do the anthems, like I try to connect them, like what they do, what they say in stream, and
Yeah.
then I'll like use it as a scheme or something that they'll get or in their chat will get. But definitely with my music, as far as like stuff that I put out for everyone to listen to, like on Spotify or whatever, like I definitely say a lot of one-liners that like while we're in the studio, like all my crew THT, they'll just be like, dog, like what the fuck. Or like my engineer, well, I know his name's Gas, but when my engineer slash producer, when he makes that look, because he's a big barhead too, so he'd be like, "You didn't hear Cyrus? He said this," and then he'd be like, "Oh shit."
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think one of the coldest lines I ever said that I wrote was losing my pops made it all make sense because you could walk on water. Haters say you can't swim. And like right there and then, and I got off. I like got out the booth, and then he was like, "Dog, what? What?" He was like, "You could walk on water. Haters say you can't swim." And he was like, "Dog, like what?" And like when and I never look for a pat on the back, but that's the type of shit that warms my heart when they're like,
Yeah.
dude, like, but I definitely get it all the time. They're like, Cyrus, like, you could rap with the best of them. He's like, but
Yeah.
you just choose not to. And then all of my craziest bars, I use them for anthems.
Yeah.
And people aren't listening to lyrics or whatever, but I definitely have those moments where I write something cold and then nobody catches it. And I'm like, all right, whatever. Like, yeah, that was a waste.
I listen to the lyrics, man, because I think the you creating people's anthems and stuff like that's a pretty cool niche, man. That is a really cool market, and I think it's only gonna get bigger. You know what I mean? Like that when I first started streaming, that was like one of the first things that I thought about where I'm just like, music. How do I put music in here? How do I incorporate some of my music? And I just happen to have a couple beats that I had rights to that I bought off another USO or whatever, and I'm just like, man, I could never rap to this. Like I can't get with the rhythm or whatever. I love the beat. But let's turn this into like a DJ type of intro, you know? Let's get some
Ooh,
drops and put some stuff on there and whatever. And I'm just like, perfect, man. This is great because now I actually used his beat. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
and like I had got some use out of this. I paid for it. Like you might as well use it.
right.
And it's mine too. That was a big thing for me, man. I don't want anybody to ever, I don't want no lawyers, nobody ever to come for me because I'm using their intellectual property, you know, all the
Yeah.
DMCA stuff or whatever. Like, yeah, I still play music that I shouldn't be playing or whatever. But when you come to my stream and you see my stuff, like everything's original. Everything's original. It was either built in house by me or my wife, or I paid somebody to do it and it is now mine. I have the rights to it, you know?
Hell yeah.
Because you never know how big it gets. I don't want to get big off of, you know what I mean, riding some other wave. I see people copying IP all the time, riding somebody else's wave, and it's just like that's cool until you get too big, and then eventually lawyers get involved,
That start slapping you with shit.
Hmm?
Yeah.
and then you got to rebrand yourself. It's like, yeah, put the time and the effort in up front. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
So you said your wife helps you with that as well? Does she make music?
No, 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 no.
Oh,
She doesn't make music, but she's a graphic designer by trade, so she went to school
okay.
for it. But you know, she's Afghasi too. She's Samoan, and her thing is she focuses on trying to basically take the traditional but modernize it, if you will. She likes
Mhm.
creating a lot of patterns, a lot of shiapo, a lot of ngatu and stuff like that,
Yeah.
and trying to replicate that type of stuff, but digitally, and while still having some of the properties about it that you like. You know what I mean? The way that she can get texture. You know what I mean, into these compositions to make it actually look like it's printed on the mulberry bark. You know what I mean? It's
Right.
just absolutely ridiculous. And then you take that pattern and you put it on like a canvas tote or something like that, and it just comes out wonderful. You know what I mean? And there's not many people doing it. So,
Right.
um, but yeah, so she's got her own business, Urban Nesian. If you ever see her on Instagram or my socials or whatever, she sells products. She does a couple of design things on the side too. But yeah, she helped me a lot.
Hell yeah. Everybody, you heard that Urban Nesian. Make sure you guys go follow, tap in, check out their merch. So check out everything uh, that Uso Blaze and his wifey got going on. That sounds amazing. I love what you guys are doing for our people. Like
Thank you.
bringing our culture to the forefront and, for the world to see where it's appealing to them as well. Because, I've met a lot of people, oh, I don't like this, I don't like that. They're too, how do you say, too Samoan to
Yeah,
where they're like, well, why does everybody have to get it? I'm like, oh, come on. Like,
yeah,
there's not that many of us on this planet, and we still affect the world the way we do. So
yeah,
no, I love what you guys have going on, and I thank you for plugging that.
yeah.
Letting us know because I remember you for that giveaway that I
It
was
was
a
all
part of
her
the
stuff.
stream. We were giving away all our stuff.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep. Gotta support the household, man. Casa de la Braze. What's
that
up,
part.
man?
That part. But let me see. So, what has been? I guess this can go across the software engineering, say you personally, with streaming or with music. Like, what has been like the scariest experience that you've gone through?
Graduating college.
Was it?
Yeah. Gra- Graduating college, that last year of college, that was one of the most nerve-wracking years I've ever experienced in my life. That
Yeah,
was the only year that I ever lost weight without ever trying because I was just so stressed
stress.
trying to not only wrap up the senior design project but to to make it all worth it and find a job afterwards. You know what I mean?
Right.
That was crazy stressful, dude. Because you know you don't want to go to school for 4 years, or in my case 5 years, and graduate with a degree, only to end up not being able to use that degree. You know, because there's no jobs or nobody will hire you or whatever. So, um, that was definitely some of the most stressful times in my life. But um, yeah, man, there's a lot of opportunity out there. That's
Definitely.
one thing, you know. Yeah, I got trained as a software engineer, but software encompasses so many different things. You know, you could be working on console apps, you could be working on web apps, mobile apps, like all different types of things. And fortunately for me, I had, you know, my second cousin. He was kind of mentoring me and giving me some advice as I was going, because he had gone through the same thing. You know what I mean? Landing his job and graduating from ASU. So um, yeah, that's definitely my biggest challenge to date. And yeah, we ain't going back to school, y'all.
Right.
My dad's
Right.
like,
No,
"You
no.
gonna go for the masters?" I'm like, "Nah, man. We doing all right with the bachelors. We're gonna be okay. We'll just
Hell yeah.
can, you know, that doesn't mean you stop learning, because learning is a never-ending journey. I'm constantly looking at new things, reading documentation, trying to figure out how to do things better. But formal education, going back to school, like I'm good on that. I went from a 4.0 student to barely graduating with a 3.0 in college, bro. It was tough. I've never experienced adversity like that, failing a class. You know what I mean? Like feeling stupid you failed the class because I just paid y'all how much money to fail this class? Like what the you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
It was an eye opener, especially as, you know, like one of the model students, one of the perfect students. It was really tough. And to be honest, I didn't think I was gonna make it through, but found something deep down, and we got it done.
Hell yeah. Let's get some hypes in the chat.
Yeah.
There's some, Uso over here pushing through, and bro, I love that you stayed on course. It was like for real, like it shouldn't be like such a success story for our people, but like in a way it is, because not too many people make it as far as you did.
Yeah.
And definitely it was like,
I
hey, you doing big shit.
I take that responsibility seriously, man. You know, if there's anything that I'm gonna be, I might not be the best game player, might not have the best stream, but at the very least, I'm gonna be up here and hope to serve as some type of inspiration for some kid out there who's thinking he's got to join the military or try to get into the league. Like, nah, man, you can get your bag elsewhere. You're smart. Go to school, do well in math, learn logic. You know, learn
Right.
basic principles of logic. If you do this, then this happens. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. Um, so that's kind of the goal, and that's why I keep coming back to it, because the Twitch revenue is definitely not paying the bills, but it's
Right.
fun. It's a lot of fun. You meet a lot of new people, and I like inspiring the kids. You know, that's it.
Definitely, definitely. Um, you have such a strong mind, Oos, and such a strong drive, and it's an inspiration. Like, what got you to be that way? Like, is there an experience, or let's just say, um, who did you look up to that probably you can attribute it to?
I'm gonna go back to my pops on this one.
Yeah.
You know, when it was just him and I, like that was life, man. He went to work and I went to school, and he just kind of pounded it in me like education is the key, and work hard and you'll get the things that you want in life. So yeah, it always comes back to my pops and how he raised me. Shout out pops, like
Yeah. Shout out to Pops.
shout out to pops, yo.
I love that.
He instilled those values in me, that grit, that determination to do something, you know what I mean? And I think it becomes clear once you put your life into perspective. And I don't want this to come off the wrong way, but like, so my fourth grade year, my pop sent me to Samoa to go live with my grandmother, just to be immersed in the culture, to learn the language, and you know what I mean, understand our family and stuff like that. And I remember, one, I didn't want to leave. My pops came to get me, and I'm like, nah, I'm gonna stay here in Samoa. It's good. You go back home.
Right.
He didn't let that fly. But when I got home, I had a whole new appreciation for everything that I had around me, all these toys and Nintendo 64 and whatever. You know what I mean? It really helped me put my life into perspective, because when I compare my life to the kids that I was around here in the States, like, you feel like you're behind, you know what I mean? We're immigrants and everybody's used to this and they got the new game gear and they got the new whatever. And I'm just like, man, we're working hard to try to get it. But then you look at your cousins and your family in Samoa and you're like, okay, all right. Yeah, I have a new sense of appreciation for how hard my dad works and the things that he provides for us, you know?
I love that. It was, man, for real. Like, I love that. Um, we already had a Growing Up Islander video for Samoa,
Nice.
but I guess to add on to that, like, what did you see, or what can you say? I mean, I know it's a big difference, but what was the differences of for the kids back home in the islands and
Yep.
everyone in the states, and on top of that, adding on, what were the like the troubles that you can see that would happen to those back home, or that could happen compared to here in the states?
Well, I mean, I think the biggest thing you learn is that you can be happy with so little. You can be happy with so little, you know, coming from so much. My room packed full of toys. It's my room. I'm not sharing it with nobody. I got my own bed. I got all this stuff, you know, to go to Samoa and run around with 50 cents in my pocket to be able to get some Saimin and an apaingu, you know, after school
Yeah,
or whatever, and realizing that I was happier in Samoa than I was in the States by myself. um it, like I said, it puts things into perspective for you. You know, you don't need a lot in this life to be happy. You just have to find what you need, you know what I mean, to make yourself happy. But you know, I've had quite a few cousins try to move from Samoa out to, you know, the US and stuff, and some of them have succeeded, but the vast majority of them, nah, I wouldn't say vast majority. Some of them succeeded and some of them have failed. And when it comes to the failures, I think there's a big misconception about how hard we're actually working out here. You know, there's this idea that because we live in the US or because you live in Aotearoa or whatever, you're not living in Samoa, that you're rich, you know?
yeah,
Um,
yes,
but we were definitely not rich by any means, and we definitely weren't well off. We were doing good, but we were just working very hard to try to make it, you know. And you know, they come here from Samoa and expecting it to be pretty easy, because I don't know if we make it look easy or we make it sound easy on the phone, but it's not, you know. It's a lot of long nights, it's a lot of long days, you know. I remember when it was just me and Pops, you know, we'd be up 5 o'clock in the morning. He got to go drop me off at daycare because he got to go to PT and then go to formation, come back or whatever. And then he's not picking me up until 7, 8 o'clock at night, because that's when he gets off of work. You know what I mean? Then
right.
he got to come home, do homework, all this stuff. So, you know, it's just a lot of work. It's very big differences in the way that we live. And you know, because in Samoa, even if you don't work, I mean, you can still survive. You can still continue to exist. You know, our land is our land. Our houses are our houses. We ain't paying nothing but the electricity bill around here. You know, whereas
Right.
here in the mainland, it's like I got mortgage, I got AOA, I got insurance up the yin yang, I got all these bills, and guess what? If they don't get paid, we're out on the street. In
Right.
Samoa, you ain't got nothing to pay. You always gonna have this roof over your head. It may be broken down, but it's your roof, you know. So I don't know. It's just different styles of living. I love Samoa, but you know, I'm very fortunate to have gotten that grit from my father to do something, and to, you know, because I feel like as a child or any generation, like, that should be one of your goals, to take what your parents gave you to flip it and make it better. You know what I mean? A lot of us came from not much, and you know, I'm hoping that if I have kids, that I can give them a little bit more than my father gave me, and we keep doing that generation after generation, and then, you know, who knows, we might have a Samoan Elon Musk or some shit. That's probably a bad reference, but you know what I mean? Like,
A genius. Hopefully,
yeah,
there's a genius.
It was
uh,
meant with good heart.
a rich one.
Right.
We get it. We get it.
What you got for the Uso Husky?
No, man, just you know, here we talk about like how you started and learning the HTML and the JavaScript and like hopping into streaming. It's like I don't know what the first thing that came to mind when you mentioned all that was MySpace. I don't know why. And it's like I didn't think about it.
Everybody's first time coding.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It
Like I
was.
didn't think about it until now. It's like back then, when you had the MySpace, it was like first you just copied and paste shit, but then like you just learn how to fucking work the code, you know. And it's like I didn't think about it, but I believe I was coding back then. And it's like
You were.
now like I don't even know what the fuck it is. Like I'm just copying and paste, whatever I see. But it's
Yeah.
like, damn, I was a coder. Now I suck.
Yeah.
I need to get back to my roots too.
I know if I went back on MySpace and I tried to do all the extra shit to my page, yeah, I'd be lost.
Yeah, remember,
Yeah.
you change the background is one thing, and then you want to add like what they call GIFs now. Like you could have had that shit back then.
Yeah.
I don't remember what it was called back then. I know it wasn't GIFs, was it?
It was probably gifts. Either
Was
that
it?
or they abstracted it to some, I don't know, easier word or something that you remember it by. But yeah, excuse me. That was the same for me, man. That's where I learned, what this stuff was. And you start off simple. You're like, oh, just let me just change a color real quick. Or then next thing you know, you're like, all right, can I move this down here or align this with this? But hey, man, it taught a whole generation of kids how to code. That was back when social media felt fun. I don't
Oh
know.
man.
Nowadays, it's just like very limited opportunities for personalization, and everything's focused on content creation, monetization. And I'm like, bro, it wasn't even about that. I was trying to, y'all came up into my MySpace page, and I'm like, yo, look at my favorite song. These are my top
Right,
5
right.
favorite people in the world. You know what I mean? Like, it was lit.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
It was definitely it was about fun back then.
yeah, for sure.
Definitely, I feel that.
I'm not saying it's not fun now, but it seems more. I use it mostly for networking at this point. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna go check who looked at my story or who did this. I just put it up there, and if you see it and you want to come through or you like it, cool. If not, I mean, it is what it is. I'm not gonna get
Posted it.
mad about it. Yeah, I
That's
posted
all
it.
that matters. Yeah.
For real.
You know.
But I know earlier you mentioned taking a break, for a few months because of life. One thing that I tell a lot of people, even my like, I let people know, like even for myself, I remind myself too, like your mental health, your life, that shit comes first, no matter what. No matter what. If you have to stop streaming for a week, 2 weeks, a month, 3 months, like it doesn't matter because those true followers, those true viewers that really support you, they're gonna be back. The
Mhm.
minute you go live, they're gonna be there. So you might not get, that 30, 40, even 10 views that you had before, but those ones that really fuck with you, they're gonna come back. And
Oh,
Thanks.
that's something heavy that I tell everybody. You know, the fact that you took that time and you did what you had to do for your life, bro. I praise you for it, man.
appreciate that, man.
You know,
That's you,
yeah,
you're not wrong, man. And that's part of the reason why, like, if you look at all my social media and the stuff I link to in my stream, like, it's me. I didn't create a separate Instagram only to show gaming content. Like, this is my Instagram that I've had for years and years and years, and I show pictures of me on vacation, and I do, you know what I mean, beats, or I created this graphic or whatever, because life is much more than just the streaming for me, at least, And you're right about that too, because the cool part is that a lot of the people that I met, a lot of my quote unquote viewers or whatever, I ended up finding them on other social media platforms, and we've been engaging this whole time. So it's
Mhm.
not like we've missed anything or anything like that. It's
Yeah,
just I haven't been streaming, and I know a lot of them will go out of their way to try to be there. A lot of family men, like when your homie who's got a wife and kids is like, yeah, I'm gonna be there in your stream. Like, to me, that means a lot more than somebody who's younger who doesn't have anything going on and just kind of scrolling through Twitch, because this person made a conscious effort to be there at this particular time, whereas this person just happened to see me in the live list. You know what I mean? That's
right.
cool. I appreciate both, but I mean, if you go out of your way to come see me, that's love, man.
Oh
That's
yeah.
mad love, yo.
Saying. I feel like people just People just don't understand that. And like, with us bringing this mental health series into the podcast, like I've realized through social media, I've seen that a lot of people are talking about it, right? And a lot of them are talking about the same things. Getting your mind right, uh, worrying too much about life and streaming, trying to make sure you produce content. And it's like, I don't know. It's just like I want to post, I want to comment on every time I see something. I want to comment and be like, "Yo, just do you." Do you. Those people who fuck with you, like I said today, if I fuck with you, I fuck with you.
Yeah.
If I can be there, I'm gonna be there. If I can't, just know that I'm gonna try. Like you said, those ones that have a lot of shit going on in life, when they
Yeah.
make that conscious effort to come and show up, whether it be 5 minutes, 10 minutes, the whole stream, at least an hour, like those views mean something.
Yeah.
Man, I understand exactly what you're saying. I just wish that a lot of people like really understood that.
Yeah.
Like for us, the Twitch check. It's not all about the Twitch check. It's nice. Don't get me
Yeah.
wrong. To get that check at midway through the month, like, oh shit, this is what I made last month. That's dope.
Yeah.
But to have that engagement like I did today, all I did was just sit here and fold shirts.
Yeah.
I sat here and fold shirts for fucking 4.5 hours. And the love that I got is like the people who work. They were coming in on through their breaks. They were popping in before they went to work, or they just got off of work. You know what I mean? So like
I was working and lurking, baby.
exactly. Like those views, like those mean so much more because it's genuine.
Yeah.
And like, Cyrus and I've been trying to build is like a genuine community. And that's why, like, I always stress about, just being you. Like this is us. This is
Oh,
us.
yeah.
You meet us outside of the podcast, outside of
It's
streaming.
this. It's this.
The same shit. Like we don't change, you know.
No.
And so like I can't wait till you start streaming. Cyrus has told me about a lot of people. He always said, "Oh yeah, this person's crack. This person's cool. This person, they don't really cuss, but they have a good personality." So it's like I've been trying to interact with those people, like because a lot of them are on Facebook.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to make my way to Facebook because that's kind of where I started, but I moved away. But just building, having genuine people around you is like this is what makes streaming great for me.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, everybody seems to be chasing the bag nowadays, right? They're trying to build wealth. That's what you've
Yeah.
heard as a kid. Build wealth, build wealth, build wealth. But I think what people are starting to realize is that it's not about building wealth, it's about building the community or finding the community that you're part of, especially for a lot of us introverts who like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like I don't really go out much. Most of my homies are spread across the world and you know what I
Facts.
mean? I love y'all, but like I'm just at that point. I'm not trying to go out to a club or something to try to make new friends because I live in a new
Facts.
place. You know what I mean? Like I'm cool with the people I got and I'm a rock with that. But it's about building the community. And if you build that community and that community loves you, the wealth will follow. It's as simple as that. They are going to be the ones pouring into you. You know what I mean? So focus on that community. And I used to think that was corny. I'm not gonna lie. Like, oh, everybody's building community. Everybody and their mama got a Discord server, you know? And I look at my list and I'm like, dude, I can't. There's a limit to how many Discord servers I can be a part of, not only technically within the software, but
Yeah.
just mentally. This is too much to keep up with on top of social
Right.
media, on top of all these different things, you know. But I value that now, and I look at my list. There's probably like 10 or 15 people in my little Discord server, but I know something about each one of those people. I feel like I have some type of connection to them, and they came through for some reason, whereas others didn't. You know what I mean? And it means a lot. It definitely means a lot for people to take part and to want to participate in it, and to understand that like our communities are not silos, guys. It's like big ass Venn diagrams. I'm part of this
Yeah.
one and part of that one, and they're
Yeah.
all overlapping. And at the end of the day, we're all part of some really cool communities that it makes up whatever our culture, where we live, all these
Yeah.
different things,
Facts.
you know. Um,
Yeah.
but you guys' mental health series, man, that's actually what drew me to the Vibe Tribe. I love that we're talking about this type of stuff, and we're debunking myths and breaking stigmas and all these different things, and showing the next generation like, hey, it's okay to cry. It's okay to feel your emotions. It's all these feelings are okay. Because I don't know about y'all, but the way I grew up, it was just like, no, 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 shove that shit deep down,
Yeah.
put on a tough face, and get your ass to work the next day. It's all right. It didn't happen,
Yeah.
That shit after a while, man, it messes you up. It messes you up. But if you think you need therapy, go to therapy. If you don't think you need therapy, go to therapy.
Right.
Right.
And since we brought that up, like, what is your view, other than what you just explained? Like, what is your view on the whole mental health and stuff? So, because we make sure we take on more than what people think. It's just anxiety and depression, and that's where they leave it at.
Yeah.
But we talk about not just depression and anxiety, the PTSD,
Yeah.
abuse, like all these other things. Like, what is your view on that? And I know there's, you know, especially being Samoan, there's a lot of things. It's like we love the beauty of our culture, and then we sweep the ugly under the rug.
Hmm.
Um, like, so, just to give can we get your take on that?
I think the most succinct way to put it is a quote from Subline's "Smoke Two Joints." Hard work good, hard work fine, but first take care of head.
Right.
That's it. You know
Of
what I mean?
course.
You living here, watching advertisements, being on social media or whatever, you start to feel very stressed and anxious, like everybody's chasing the bag, how much coffee we drink, how much coke people are doing, all these different things. Like it's everybody makes you feel like that's all that's going on. But at the end of the day, like your definition of success isn't necessarily the same definition as somebody else. We all have our
Yeah.
own definition, you know what I mean? And by my definition, I am successful. I pay my bills. I don't have to worry about the roof over my head. I got food on my table and my clothes don't have holes in them. Like that's it. That's all we need to do. But growing up, it was like kind of ingrained into you where it's like you got to go as high as you possibly can. And you definitely can. I'm sure you can get very high, but you're gonna have to make a lot of sacrifices on the way. And will it be worth it? You know what I mean? Um,
Mhm.
I'm very comfortable with I'm at. So but yeah, I'm a big advocate of therapy, of making sure you take care of your mentals. I see a licensed psychologist once a week to talk about
Same
my
here.
problems. I've been diagnosed with PTSD because of my upbringing and all these other things, and it's just very interesting the insights that you gain from going to therapy, from speaking to a third party that knows absolutely nothing about you, and continuing to learn about yourself, because you hit a certain age and you feel like, I done learned everything I need to learn about myself.
Yeah.
I'm good at this, I'm not good at that. This is how I am. I don't like whatever. But that's not true. You're constantly changing. You should be constantly changing as you grow older. And it never helps to talk to somebody who can help you figure out those changes and figure out how you can help yourself. So, yeah.
Yeah, I love those. You hear that? You hear that, chat? Yeah. Don't compare your lowest moments to someone else's highlights. It
No.
Yeah.
ain't
Yeah.
the same. It ain't the same. Um, you mentioned that you have PTSD and like the things you went through. If you're open to talk about it, like what are some things that kind of where you kind of harbor your emotions or feelings towards, like anything you feel comfortable talking about?
Like, what do you mean? You got examples?
So you said PTSD. So what causes that for you? Like what was the initial cause of?
Um, I think from my understanding, the PTSD is basically just how the way I was raised.
Right,
Obviously, shout out Pops. I love Pops, but Pops was a hard man to live with. You know what I mean?
right.
Pops was very demanding, and I definitely won't ever say that I got abused, but I was one of the kids that used to get hit when he was younger. You know what I mean? And I definitely think to some degree, I still attest that a lot of those ass whippings were deserved and are part of the reason why I am the way that I am now. You know what I mean?
Same
It's
here,
better
same here.
better I learned those lessons as a kid than, as an adult or again when I get tried as an adult, you know what I mean?
Right.
So, um, but yeah, that there's a lot of substance abuse that runs in my family, a lot of alcoholism, tobacco, some harder stuff, and just growing up around that, it wasn't fun. It's not fun being a 6 or 7 year old having to take care of adults because they're all fucked up, and
Man, I,
unfortunately I perpetuated those cycles, and I've had my moments when I was in college drinking, getting drunk, taking shots and stuff like that, and becoming the one thing that I was actively trying to avoid becoming, you know what I mean? So yeah, it's all in the upbringing. I got a lot of good from my pops, but there's definitely some things there that are not so great, and we're working through them.
right.
Eventually, you get to a point where you try to figure out, you try to quantify, like, why do I do this? Why do I behave in this certain way? And thanks to my wife, she's really the one that was like, yo, you should go see a therapist. You should talk to them. Because her and I grew up completely differently. You know um, so yeah, man, it's a lot of ass whippings, bro.
I feel you.
Even to this day, I'm 33 years old. I get around my pops, he does one of these. I'm like, oh shit, you got me.
Flashback.
Flashbacks.
Flashback.
Yeah, no, and my girl, that jump scare. I mean, that is a indicator of PTSD. If somebody scares you like that, and you can jump scare you pretty consistently, you might have some PTSD. My
Right.
wife likes to take advantage of about that and hide around dark corners and stuff, and just and I'm like, stop, yo, you, you triggering me, son. You
Right.
need to
It was
chill.
almost kind of sweet chin music.
You know what I mean?
No, I feel you, man, on so many levels, man. I'm glad we keep saying it that you're such a success story and hearing you talk, but it's that progression that you,
Mhm.
man, hearing you talk about it, and then that you're still working things out, and it's progression. It's like it's slow motion, but in motion, like you're never stopping type of thing. And I
Yep.
love that, Oos. I love that.
Keep those feet chopping.
Facts.
Yeah, yeah. And we actually had a question from chat. Mo said, how did you end up going to therapy? Or when did you know you needed to go? What was the breaking point?
I probably knew a lot longer than I care to admit that I needed therapy. But again, growing up the way I grew up, mental health wasn't. There's a couple things, you know what I mean, from the older generation that I took from that I don't really believe in nowadays. But um, one is that taking care of your mental health, going to a therapist, that type of stuff is for weak people. You deal with your own emotions. I don't really believe in that. And the other one was um shit. I don't lost the damn train of thought. I don't know what the other one was. But the breaking point was a situation. Something happened. Me and my wife got into an argument. And it's the same argument, the same patterns keep arising or whatever, and she's tired of it, and just gets to a point where it's like, so what are you going to do about this? Because this is something that I don't want to be around for. This is something that I will leave you for, and having to reckon with, okay, well, I don't want her to leave me. I love her with all of my heart. I want to continue to be with her. I need to work on myself. You're always a work in progress. A lot of people think you graduate from college, you find a job or whatever, and you stop working on yourself. This is who you are. But every single day is a battle. Every single day is working on yourself and unraveling something about yourself. So yeah, man, that's usually how it goes. Usually something happens that'll prompt you to, like, okay, maybe I should go to therapy. And in this case, it just happened to be an argument with my wife.
Right.
So
Man.
I don't condone, giving your significant other an ultimatum, but if you love your significant other and you think they might need therapy, like, find out some way to bring that up. It's not an easy conversation to have, you know what I
Right.
mean? Because everybody's normal is different. We all think we're all normal, you know what I mean? But once you start to understand that there is no normal. This is just who you are, and everybody's just doing the best that you can. I think it makes it easier to come to terms with that. That you're not broken or by any means. You just need some help. That's it. You need some help. You need a different perspective.
In our chat, No Bay the Witch said recognizing those things are always the first step. Very proud of you. And Mo said, "Good stuff, man. You did what you had to do." So definitely it was.
Got to, man. You got to take care of those mentals because if I didn't, I don't know who I would be or where I would be right now, to be honest. But you know,
No,
gotta
feel
do what you
free.
gotta do.
Right, right.
Um,
Go ahead, Husky.
oh yeah, I just got one more question. So I remember you said earlier that you were kind of going through your stream stuff and making sure everything works, testing it out a little bit. So coming up, bringing streaming back up once again. What are you looking forward to, like moving forward and gonna stream again? Like, what is it that you want to accomplish?
Um, I don't have any goals per se. I mean, I do have goals, but I don't convey them to my viewers. You know what I mean? I'm never gonna be the streamer that's like, you know what I mean, looking for X out of Y subs, or I'm trying to gain, Z out of A freaking followers. I that stuff will come. It's really cool to see the analytics. I'm glad that we're at a point where every software platform has this stuff, so you can make decisions. But really, I think I'm looking forward to the camaraderie, getting back in the swing of things. You know what I mean? Finding that group of people once again to run with them consistently to improve my gameplay. Because even though I stopped streaming, I never stopped gaming. You know what I mean? Even though I don't release music, doesn't mean I'm not making beats or writing rhymes. It's always there. It's just I'm not broadcasting it for the world,
Right.
because I don't have to. You know what I mean? This is my time, and I can put myself out there how I see fit when I see fit. Nobody gets 24/7 access to me, nor do I want to give off that image. So yeah, it's really just, finding the homies again. Like I said, a lot of my homies that I was running with, they all went back to work. They haven't streamed in a while. They barely play video games or whatever. So, just finding those people that want to grow together, that want to play together. Because really, my main goal is I want to move to PC. I'm over the console life. We're done. We're like 3 years into the PS5. Still can't find them in Hawaii. I can't even find some basics in Hawaii. So I'm like, you know what? Now that the cost of parts is starting to come down a little bit, some of those issues in the supply chain are starting to be worked out. I'm gonna take a few stacks, put it in a PC, and see how good I can be. Because I like to be like, you know what, this wouldn't happen if I wasn't on 150 ping on my PS4 with my stock controller, and you know what I mean. I was like, you wait till I get that PC with the 3080 and 120 frames per second, bro. I'm gonna be lighting you up. So I wanna prove that or disprove it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Am I really that bad, or am I okay? And my hardware is outdated. It's, gaming don't feel fair nowadays. I get the cross-platform stuff, but it's made me salty. Where I'm like, dude, this isn't. You got my Honda Civic going up against a Ferrari, bruv. Like, pedal to the floor. I'm not gonna beat this guy. Like, come on. But
Definitely.
we try and we have fun, and that's what keeps me coming back. It's never take this stuff too seriously. We literally dreamed of days where you could get paid to play video games, and now people legitimately have this as a career. And that was something I had to understand, getting into streaming. It's like, look, you're not going to be that dude because they do this for a job. This is literally all they do every day. I'm a hobbyist. I get off work, I play some games. Cool. I just want to be better than I was yesterday. That's it.
Right. All right, for sure. All right. So we're actually coming to the end of the stream. I have one last question before we get to the fun stuff. Um, what is one message um, that you want to leave with our chat? It could be about anything or everything.
Just one?
Let's go three. Let's go three.
Yeah, I'll pick the other two out of the stream because I feel like we gave y'all a lot of game today about what to
Facts.
do.
Big
But
facts.
Um, if there's one message that I could leave the chat with, knowing that a lot of the chat, probably a lot of your audience is right. They're Kakamoana. They might be from the
Yeah,
islands. They might be from
it's a mix.
lower income backgrounds, but education, y'all. Education. And then I don't mean that in the formal sense of like you got to go to college or anything like that. There's tons of resources online. YouTube is a whole damn university at this point, but
Facts.
get educated and do something different, Like one of my greatest joys in my life is when I encounter somebody from an island, whether it be my island or somewhere else in the Pacific Ocean, who is doing something that just like, whoa, you're doing what? Really? No way. You know what I mean? Like, there's this dude out in San Francisco. His name's Mac Moley. He's a Samoan guy. His mom actually runs a Pike podcast, the FICA podcast on Facebook, and I've been
Okay,
on
yeah,
that one
I
too.
heard it.
But he's he's into AI testing and stuff. He works
Oh,
for like
shit.
a whatchamacall, a car company. They're trying to automate driving cars and stuff like that. But he's in that realm. And I remember like it wasn't his music, it wasn't all this stuff. Like that's what drew me in. I'm like, you're doing what? And you're Samoan. I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm in the right place. You are the person I'm looking for. I don't know why, but you're
Right.
cool, Like I know a Samoan homie who's half Israeli, half Samoan. Like I love seeing
Oh,
those
shit.
combinations where I'm
Oh
like,
yeah, I love that too.
tell me your story. I need to know how your dad and your mom got together because this is amazing,
Right.
So yeah, go to school, continue to go to school, continue to learn, the software stuff, I'm never going to push anybody to go to college. It's not for everybody. In hindsight, I don't know if it was for me, but I got it done. But there's a lot of like trade type of schools, online programs, 8 weeks, 16 weeks, that'll teach you everything you know how to be a developer. I mean, I went to school for 5 years and 75% of the stuff I learned, I don't even need nowadays, in my job. So, yeah, go to school, kids.
That
That's
part. It's it's funny you brought that up about the AI stuff. That's what I do.
Is it?
Yeah.
I research and develop the tech for self-driving cars.
Nice.
So that's my job. That's crazy how you
Very
said.
cool.
So yeah, chat. I'm not an idiot. Yeah, I do a very smart job. I play stupid, and I play it well.
Yeah,
But definitely
that's
was all
that's
right.
cool.
So this was we're gonna me and Husky talked about it, but I only got 5 questions for you. It's just like GGN. We're just gonna have fun with it. Uh, what's the first thing you do when you wake up?
Vape, vape and coffee, nicotine and caffeine, baby. We got to get it in the system. Get the
That
engine
part.
going.
That part. All right. Marvel or DC?
Marvel. I don't even need you to finish that.
Hey, you said that so fast.
He did.
Yeah.
He did.
I will start pulling out my comic stacks right now if you want. I'm X-Men all day, baby.
Ooh, okay. Would you rather be forced to sing along or dance to every single song you hear?
Dance.
For real?
I'm a
Yeah.
singer.
Yeah, Husky's a singer. All right. Would you rather have the ability to see 10 minutes into the future or 150 years into the future?
10 minutes.
Okay. All
Immediate.
right. Really?
Yeah.
All
Because
right.
then I'd be like at the card table or whatever in Vegas or like 10 minutes. Okay, he pulls that hand. All right, cool. Let me figure out how to play my hand right here and now.
All right.
I'm rich.
Oh shit. Damn, you did that so smart. All right, the last one. I know you're married, but say if you weren't, would you rather find true love today or win the lottery every year for the next coming years?
Find true love today.
For real? I would have chose the money.
Yeah, life is about more than the bag. I'm so much.
Ooh.
I cannot tell you how much I love my wife, yo. She's worth every bag on the planet.
Ooh,
Period.
that part. Look at me, still choosing money. You did
He's
not
about
change
to
my
get his
mind
ass
one
beat
bit.
when he gets off.
You
He's
didn't.
about to get his
You
ass
didn't.
I'm
beat,
about to
Chad.
get you in trouble, dog.
You didn't change my mind one bit. I'm still picking the money.
If Cyrus doesn't talk to anybody tomorrow, we know what happened.
I love you, babe. She's right next door.
Nope. It's a lie.
Slipper comes flying into the scene.
I love you.
Exactly.
I
Fuck.
think I'm good while the podcast is still going.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
yeah, it was no, thank you so much for coming on with us. It's been a pleasure.
Hell yeah.
It's been a vibe. Did you have any questions for us?
We got any new series? So you got the mental health and the interviews. I know you guys are pushing hard on that. Anything new? I mean, we saw the sneak peek. VybeTrybe merch is coming. Anything else we could talk about?
So as of right now, we only have the mental health, the growing up Islander series, and then just interviews. One thing we're looking forward to is when your boy is off of probation, we're about to do a Kava Lounge stream. We're gonna go stream in a Kava Lounge.
So Tom, who's on probation?
Cyrus.
Oh shit. Okay.
What? Wait, what?
Hey,
No, it's
I
me,
already
it's me.
put in my time. I'm good.
I'm off in August, so like mid-August, so we're hoping that we can do it for September, do a Kava Lounge.
that'd be dope.
Yeah.
And Cyrus, I know this is your channel, the VybeTrybe podcast, but would love to see you playing some games, or even if you're ever in the studio. Like, I love streams that aren't just games. Like, even if you're just making a beat or something like that, trying to need some inspiration. Like, hope to see more of you.
Yeah, everybody.
I understand if not.
Everybody loves it when I go into the studio, but mainly this channel is just for us as a podcast. This used to be the THC Cyrus account, but it's all good.
Yeah.
Yeah, chat's grilling me right now about the money or love.
Cyrus.
Oh, he's trying to justify himself. Jesus. Jesus.
Yeah.
That was a bad question, Cyrus. That was a bad question.
Chat, y'all some assholes. I gave my honest answer. Like, it was just saying, if we weren't in a relationship, would you choose love or money?
That was a hypothetical question.
Yeah.
That's all it was. I got you. I got
you. But no, thank you so much. Yeah, we definitely have stuff coming along. Next Friday is our anniversary stream. 1 year.
Oh snap! Oh snap!
Yeah.
All right.
So a nice warm mattress downstairs. Oh my gosh.
Damn.
But no, yeah, we're gonna make a lot of announcements. It's gonna be some good shit. It's gonna be some good shit.
Yeah.
I'll keep my eyes on the socials for sure.
Definitely.
We've been man. Like,
we work hard.
When Cyrus tells you, like, we're always talking, like, whether it's DMs, it's text messages, it's like I just tell him, because we have a group chat, right? And I'm just like, I'm in Discord. Like, I could be in there for no fucking reason, but I just hop in Discord and I just sit there. Sometimes I'm playing games, sometimes I'm editing. Like, I'm just doing, something different. And then, he comes in and then we just start chatting it up. It always starts with something stupid. Like, we're just talking shit to each other or, saying something funny to happen. And the next thing you know, like, ideas start popping out. Oh, what do you think of this? What do you think of this? Well, definitely, we have some ideas that are not confirmed yet, but they are definitely, we feel they're going to be a game changer.
It's game changing, Oos.
Game changing.
It's game changing.
You think our mental health series was something? I think this might beat it. What we got planned, and it won't be exposed until like the beginning of next year, until we solidify everything and a schedule for it. But the announcements itself is definitely going to be a game changer.
Well, I can't wait, man. I'm hella excited now. I just gotta wait a year. But,
6 months. 6 months. 7 at
Before
most.
we dip out though, thank you guys for having me. It's definitely much appreciated. Everybody in chat, thank you guys for tuning in. Hopefully you take away something positive from this, and keep doing what you guys doing, man. I love it. I'll be in there every Friday.
Oh yeah.
Aloha
You have
Friday.
any shout outs, Zeus?
Shout out to my wife who just walked in from work, to my dog, all the homies, King Ka, Uno Can Handle, Toveu. I mean, the list just don't stop. I can't shout out everybody. So shout out to every human being on the planet, all 7 billion y'all. 15 is in chat.
Shout out to Blaze Fam. Shout out to the Blaze Fam.
Yeah.
Husky, you got any shout outs?
I also said, man, it's too many people. I've been getting so much love these last few weeks. I mean, in general, my whole time here, but these last few weeks, people have been showing so much love. So, shout out to everybody who always comes through. Always comes through, whether it's my stream, the podcast, like they're always showing love on our socials, sharing our posts, sharing our stories. I don't know, I can't ask for much.
Man, shit, you guys said it. There's too many people to name.
Yeah.
But shout out to my girlfriend Aaliyah. You're so amazing, and I would never choose money over you.
Oh snap!
You're just so perfect in my life. I hope it doesn't sound sarcastic. It's just you're everything. I love you. I wrote a song about you.
You're a liar.
I did write a song. For her. Y'all are so full of shit. Thank you, Blaze, for being so positive. But I just came back from California from the last weekend. I was out there doing some charity work with the FO movement.
Yeah.
All of those Usos, we're able to speak to the community. They have a youth program where they just reach out to the at-risk youth. So being able to do that, and I got to perform, and man, like the love from that's been crazy, because a lot of the people from New Zealand have been reaching out, and Australia, the really high up rappers and producers, because they saw me perform. Somebody just was recording, and they just so happened to be in that. So definitely getting a lot of love. But yeah, thank you guys so much in chat for always vibing with us every Friday. We're here at the same time doing the same shit, always showing love, always trying to give our flowers to those who deserve it. But yeah, shout out to you guys.
Chat. Catch you next week on your celebration.
That part.
Bringing it to you. Announcements coming in. Let's go. Catch you guys later. Much love, chat.
Uso Blaze.
Uso Blaze.
Hey, watching on right now, we're broadcasting live from the South Pacific. And you don't know it's your boy, Uso Blaze.
I know you're gonna dig this.
Right now you're tuning into another Uso Blaze production. Yo, Uso Blaze, blaze up his fire.